Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a really big idea, one that could seriously reshape farming, our climate, and the economy, all at the same time. We're talking about turning plain old soil into a new kind of gold, carbon credits. So let's just jump right in, because this is the core question, isn't it? For so long, it has felt like this impossible choice. Either you feed a growing planet or you protect it. But what if that's a false choice? What if there's another way? To really get the solution, we first have to wrap our heads around the problem. And for modern farming, it's this massive, two-sided challenge. I mean, think about it. On one side, agriculture is literally the bedrock of civilization. It feeds us all. But on the other side, it's a huge source of environmental stress. And at the center of it all are the farmers, often trapped in this brutal economic squeeze, just trying to make a living off of what they can grow. So, how in the world do you break a cycle like that? Well, it starts by totally reimagining what it means to farm. Let's build this solution out, piece by piece. The first piece of this puzzle is a concept called regenerative agriculture. The key word there is regenerative. It's not just about sustaining what's there. It's about actively healing and rebuilding. It's a whole toolkit of practices designed to bring soil back to life, to boost that rich organic matter. Basically, it's about farming with nature instead of against it. But a great idea is one thing. It needs an engine to really make it work on a global scale. So to this powerful idea of healing the land, we're going to add a powerful financial tool. And that engine is the carbon credit. Now here's how it fits in. It turns out that those healthy living soils we were just talking about, they are amazing at pulling carbon out of the atmosphere and storing it. So every ton of CO2 that gets locked away in the soil can be measured, verified, and then sold as a credit to a company looking to balance out its own emissions. And this is the light bulb moment. When you put these two things together, you create a brand new economic model where healing the planet actually becomes profitable. The money from carbon credits acts like a financial lever, paying farmers to make that switch to these better, more restorative practices. In a perfect world, this creates this beautiful, virtuous cycle. So let's look at who really stands to win when this model works the way it's supposed to. This is the dream scenario, right? It's a true win-win-win. Farmers get a totally new and stable way to earn money. Companies get a real, tangible way to invest in climate action. And of course, the planet wins with healthier soils, more life, and less CO2 warming the atmosphere. And I want to be clear, we are not talking about small potatoes here. The ambitions are huge. Some of these projects are aiming to get 500,000 hectares of farmland into this regenerative model. That is a massive amount of land. And the climate impact at that scale, it's pretty staggering. We're talking about the potential to store away 8 million tons of CO2. To put that into perspective for you, that's like taking about 1.7 million cars off the road for a full year. It's a serious dent, all stored right under our feet in the soil. And right here, this is where you see the entire business of farming begin to change. A farmer's income doesn't just come from the crops they harvest anymore. Now, it also includes the actual value of the carbon they're putting back into the ground. It's like they're growing a second crop, one that's inevitable but incredibly valuable. And for the companies involved, this is a big shift too. It's more than just carbon offsetting. It becomes what you could call a carbon contribution. They're not just buying a piece of paper. They're actively funding projects that are making a positive, measurable difference. They're tying their economic success directly to environmental success. So it all sounds amazing, almost too good to be true, right? Well, this is where we have to pump the brakes and get real. Let's move to the reality check, because this road is definitely not a simple one. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. For this entire system to work, for a carbon credit to mean anything at all, it demands one thing above all else: rigor. You have to be able to measure the carbon, you have to verify the work was done, and you have to trace the results over time. No shortcuts. And this is where that exciting promise slams into the cold, hard reality. The promise is new revenue for farmers, right? But the reality is it can take years before they see any real money. The promise is a simple, elegant solution. The reality? The carbon market is incredibly complex and confusing, And this is a big one. There's a real risk that focusing too much on carbon could distract from the main job of, well, farming, and actually put the whole farm at risk.
So, to make sure there is rigor, every single project has to pass three essential tests. First is additionality. Is this carbon capture new, or would it have happened anyway? Second is permanence. Is that carbon going to stay in the soil for the long haul? And third, verifiability. Can we actually prove it with hard data? You fail on any one of these, and the whole thing starts to lose credibility fast.
Okay, so we've seen it all. We've seen the incredible, game-changing potential on one side, and the really serious, really difficult obstacles on the other. And that leaves us with this one massive question. Are carbon credits a real engine that can power a true transformation in agriculture for the better? Or are they a really risky, complicated distraction that might pull us away from what we need to be doing? The answer to that question is going to shape the future of fields and farms all over the world.